Hi, good morning. My name is Kelly McKinney Golden. I'm a licensed mental health counselor living in Portsmouth, Rhode Island. A little background on me: I actually was a classroom teacher for 10 years. Originally, I went to school in New York for history and anthropology and graduated early from my undergrad program and stayed on for a master's in the art of teaching for social studies. And I made my way back to Rhode Island, and I taught at a public high school in Rhode Island for 10 years as a social studies teacher. I taught Western civilization initially, 5 sections of it actually, and then eventually that evolved into world history. While there, I taught the Western Civ course, the World History course, U.S. history, sociology, and I actually wrote a cultural anthropology course for the school that you could receive college credit for Rhode Island College. While I was there, what actually kind of inspired me to kind of take my next career path was I had a number of students that I worked with that, to be honest, we had a number of losses at the school that I was working at the time. We had many student deaths for a variety of different reasons, whether they be substance and drug related, um, accidents, car accidents, various things. And I felt that a lot of the time when I was speaking with my students, I was probably making a little more of an impact when I was talking about other things and not necessarily about history. So that inspired me to go back for my second master's, which I got in agency counseling. And then I went on to the next level, which was a CAGS in mental health. But I did want to become a licensed counselor. I did want to be able to practice, but I was kind of torn because I still wanted to teach as well. So what I did was I ultimately left teaching so I could do my clinical hours. I did try to do them part time for a time, but it just wasn't working. So ultimately, I left and I did my clinical hours in an outreach agency in some neighboring cities and got some experience doing outreach counseling. There, I was promoted to a clinical supervisor, and from there, I actually ended up working in another public school um, in a neighboring city in Massachusetts. That school was based on a community school model, and I was one of three administrators that opened the school. It was myself as a student adjustment counselor who was a level one administrator, as well as a building principal and a vice principal. And we three administrators actually opened that school of almost 700 students. I worked there for a time, and in working there, my family grew as well. I'm married and I have a little boy, Gavin. So I was pregnant my second through my second year of working in the community school, and I am went out on maternity leave. I came back, I worked there for a while, and then I got another job opportunity as working as a licensed mental health counselor for Newport Public Schools, which is where I work now. So the catch to that position is that I am the only one that exists. Rhode Island public schools do not hire licensed mental health counselors. They only hire licensed social workers. So I am the first of the breed. Um, Newport Public Schools had to petition the Department of Ed to create my position, and it was approved. And so now I am the only one in the state of Rhode Island that works as clinical support, doing clinical support and psychological testing for Newport Public Schools. And I work both at the middle school and the high school level. So that's where I am right now. With regards to school community relations, I really think all of my experience over my career has kind of shaped what I think about that. I would say that, as a classroom teacher, when I was younger, I was very involved in a lot of efforts of the students, a lot of extracurricular activities. I was the student council advisor. So we planned all of the whole school events. So homecoming and any of the dances and pep rallies and anything that was a whole school event we planned. So I was very much kind of engaged in that process. I also was advisor for environmental club, so I made a lot of connections with the community with that regard as well, doing beach cleanups and environmental work. And, as my education and my career evolved and I was working, doing outreach therapy, I was doing outreach therapy in an urban area, really to neighboring cities in Massachusetts, that very high need areas. And all my work was home based. And coming from education, I really did realize that there really did need to be more of a connection between home and school. That a lot of the families that I was working with were somewhat reluctant to advocate for their students. They didn't know what to say. They're a little intimidated. They might have had bad experiences when they were students. So it was really kind of encouraging them and supporting them and empowering them to do that as part of the counseling and therapy and treatment. And when I got back into working into a public school system and it was a community school model, I was really excited by that because I could really push this idea of a wraparound service where the school could be not just about education, but could also be about really supporting the whole family and really kind of educating the whole family if they were open to that and just providing a bunch of different community resources, whether it be health resources, counseling resources, medical resources, information around financial resources, whatever it be. And, for the school to very much be a partner and not really an other. So, really kind of working together to make that school community partnership. And I've seen that work firsthand. I'm hoping that my position in Newport, I'm able to kind of help develop that here for Newport as well. Little by little, I've been doing that, but I've only been here for a couple of years, so I need to take a little time. And that's kind of where I am right now. I'm really excited about the program and excited that, kind of one of my real interests, school and community relations, is the first course. So thank you for your time and have a great day. Bye bye.